What is going on, everybody? Jonathan checking in here. It is a beautiful day in Seattle, so I wanted to do this video outside and enjoy some of the sunshine kind of while it lasts. But today's video is going to be about a comparison between DoorDash and Postmates. So I've been delivering with both of these companies using their insulated heat bags and kind of just driving around taking orders. So I have a pretty good idea of which one is best, and I want to compare them based on the important stuff, like how much drivers are getting paid for each service, and then get into a couple more details on flexibility of working, customer service, stuff like that. And my goal here is to give you guys as transparent of a review as possible based on my experience delivering here in Seattle. And then after all that, I do want to give you guys a couple quick tips and tricks that I use to maximize my earnings while I'm delivering. So make sure that you stick around to the end of the video and check those out. When you log onto the DoorDash app, you're signing up for a shift, and that shift can be as short as 30 minutes, but multiple hours if you want it to be. And DoorDash caps the number of shifts that are given at any given amount of time in your area, which limits the amount of drivers on the road, which is really nice because that means you're more likely to get a consistent amount of orders coming your way. Whereas Postmates, anyone can sign on at any time, and that means that you could have a ton of drivers on the road at once, splitting a limited number of orders, which means less orders coming your way. So let's take a look at my last 5 deliveries for both DoorDash and Postmates and kind of compare what the average delivery rate is for each of these services. So if you look in DoorDash on my app, I made a total of about $37.50 on the past 5 deliveries, which works out to be a little over $7 per delivery, which honestly isn't bad. I'm okay with that. At the end of the day, that's a decent amount of pay. Now, if we head over to Postmates, you can see on my last 5 deliveries, I'm making about $38.50. So still $7 and change, just a little bit more than DoorDash. These actually turn out to be kind of on par. And as you can see in these Postmates orders, I'm actually getting tipped quite a bit on a few of them. And that's combined with 2 $4 orders where there was no tip. So the tips really do make up for it in Postmates and kind of give you that extra earnings that you wouldn't expect. So even though my payout is very similar on both of these apps, I'm making just a little bit over $7 an hour. I usually lean towards DoorDash over Postmates because they're going to be sending me more orders per hour. If I'm doing more per hour on DoorDash, then at the end of the day, I'm taking home more cash, which is, most important to me when I'm making this decision. Postmates does consistently send me orders, but there's a lot of times when I'll be waiting around like 10-15 minutes on the app for an order, which is just way too long if you're trying to make good side money. If you're trying to decide which of these apps to use to deliver food, don't stress too much about the decision. Just download both apps and run them simultaneously like I do. There's no minimum acceptance rate, so you can kind of just have both running at the same time and accept whichever one gives you the first offer or the better offer. I'll leave my sign-up links down below, and that way you can get a sign-up bonus once you've completed the minimum number of deliveries. Now that we've had a look at my average earnings, let's take a look at the pay models for each of these companies, starting with DoorDash. When a delivery opportunity pops up in the DoorDash app, you're given a delivery estimate, and this is almost always what you end up getting paid out. There's always a minimum guarantee set when you log on to the DoorDash app to deliver, and you're guaranteed to get that payout per order. But the actual delivery guarantee per order on the DoorDash platform is only $1. The difference between that and your minimum guarantee is your tip money, which is why you never really see tip money on the DoorDash platform. Out of the last 100 or so deliveries I've done, I've been tipped maybe 2 or 3 times. DoorDash does compensate somewhat for longer distance deliveries, but they don't exactly make clear what this amount is. In my personal experience, usually it's only $1 or $2, which isn't really worth the driving time if you're going to be driving an extra 5 miles, taking into account the standard deduction of about 55 cents per mile. If you're driving over 4 miles extra for $2, then you're actually running at a net loss for this extra delivery distance. All in all, the higher guaranteed earnings of about $6.50 per delivery in Seattle make delivering for DoorDash worthwhile just based on that. Postmates, on the other hand, has a $4 delivery minimum, and if you're doing your delivery and the basic logistics of your delivery, which include the pickup pay, the drop-off pay, the price per mile, and the price per minute, if those factors don't add up to your minimum payout of $4 before you get tipped, then they will make sure that you hit $4 on that delivery, which is lower than the DoorDash $6.50, and it's kind of a reason why sometimes I hesitate to go towards Postmates, because I do like having that 650 floor. With that said, the Postmates payout model is very transparent, and so you do know exactly how much you're going to be earning. They don't tell you up front what that price is going to be on your order because they actually can't really tell you. If you think about it, they don't know how long you're going to be waiting once you get to the restaurant, so they can't really calculate that for you, and they don't really even bother giving you an estimate. But you can do it in your head a little bit, you know, just by looking at how far away the order is and what your driving time is after picking it up. You can kind of get an idea of what that payout might be. The model is very transparent, which is the one thing I really do like about it, because they tell you exactly how much your customer tipped you. And you know, before I started doing Postmates, I was only doing DoorDash. I just thought that people didn't tip for food delivery because DoorDash, you know, they are not really transparent about where your tip is going. It's just somewhere under that 650, and usually you don't see that payout above 650 with the tip. I've had maybe 2 or 3 orders out of 100 where I got tipped on DoorDash. Postmates, I've been tipped 4 out of 6 of my first orders. So I'll have orders, you know, that should have been like a 650 payout, and I'm all of a sudden making $8, $9, $10, $11 on this order, and it turns out really good. It's more of a guessing game. You don't really know what you're going to get yourself into with Postmates because they don't just tell you on the screen, hey, here's the 650 base pay and here's what your peak pay is going to be. The flexibility with Postmates is really kind of nice. You know, I don't worry too much about getting deactivated because people aren't rating my deliveries, and there's no acceptance rate that's necessary, so I can just sign on and, you know, skip as many offers as I want. Even though I do really like DoorDash and I'm consistently making more money on the DoorDash platform, I do have a couple issues, and one of those is their customer service. In my personal experience, I've had a really hard time, you know, getting in touch with them, and there's not a whole lot of important questions that come up because delivering food's pretty straightforward at the end of the day. But a couple of times things did come up and it was just hard to get in touch with them. DoorDash has also had some PR issues for their lack of transparency in tips, which, you know, does kind of bother me. I like to know where my earnings are coming from, but at the end of the day, if I'm making more on the DoorDash platform, does it really matter? So I wanted to give you guys just a couple quick tips on how to earn more when you're delivering before I end the video. And a few of my favorite ones are, first of all, you should be very picky about which orders you're taking. Some people like to call this cherry picking. I just like to think of it as only taking orders that are worth my time. If an order is really far away, I don't even bother accepting it. And DoorDash does show you that acceptance rate. Mine's like 55%, but it's not really important. People don't get deactivated for having a low acceptance rate. So go ahead and decline those far away orders. They do pay you like $1 or $2 more for driving further, but if you're driving 5 miles further, the wear and tear on your vehicle and your gas expenses are actually going to be more than that extra money. So don't even bother taking them. Just take orders that are high paying and close by. When I get a fast food order through DoorDash, I always check and see where this restaurant's located and if it's really on the way to my stop, because a lot of times it's not and there's one that's closer. And the funny thing about delivering fast food with DoorDash is that these orders aren't actually called in and you pay for them on the red card. So if you want to switch up and go to, let's say, a Taco Bell that's closer by, you can go ahead and do that. For some reason, a lot of my fast food pickups have been in the mall, and DoorDash expects me to go ahead and find some mall parking, wander inside and figure out where this restaurant is, when oftentimes there's another fast food restaurant that's actually closer to my destination, so I just go to that one instead. I usually avoid downtown areas, and that's because I have a college campus that's actually closer to me, and I get quite a few orders consistently at that college campus. I don't like delivering downtown because it's really hard to find parking, and if you get parking tickets, then you're effectively not making money for that time spent because those can be really expensive. Also, a lot of these drop-offs happen to be in apartment complexes, and people expect you to kind of find your key code, park somewhere on the street, and then, you know, walk up to like the 15th floor of an apartment building, which at the end of the day takes an extra like 15-20 minutes and makes the order not really worth your time. So I just avoid downtown areas altogether. In Seattle, the peak bonus happens to be about the same in North Seattle as it is in downtown. So I'm not really getting paid more to put myself on the line for parking tickets and to spend more time dropping off to apartment buildings. I just avoid them altogether. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and show me some love and hit that like button. Also, leave some comments down below because I'd love to hear about your experience delivering and which one of these services you like better in your area.